you, I have absolutely no formal journalism training at all. I can't do shorthand, and have never been able to do shorthand. I am not an expert in media law. In fact, I'm sure that most of you know far more about media law than I do. I actually studied psychology and biology, and the kind of obvious career path from that was to become a clinical psychologist. And many of my friends from my course now work for the NHS, helping sort of counsel children, with sort of children with autism in those sorts of categories. When I left university, I didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. I knew I loved writing, and I'd always been able to write sort of nice stories. And I also knew I loved magazines. So I did this sort of day when I was sitting at home feeling really bleak because I'd graduated, I didn't have a clue what to do, and I just phoned the magazines I had in the house and said, probably in a very irritating way, how do you work on a magazine? To which they replied, have you done a journalism course? Have you done an NCTJ course? And I said no. Anyway, I got chatting to one lady on a magazine called Health and Fitness magazine who said, had I thought about work experience? And I didn't know anything about work experience on magazines, or you guys might be aware that you can do work experience for a year on magazines and still not end up with a job. So it's quite competitive. But anyway, she offered me a week's work experience at Health and Fitness magazine. And I then thought, right, well, I'll spend my summer doing work experience. So I phoned around all the magazines and managed to get a month's work experience at EMAP, which publishes titles like Grazia, and a number of other titles like Heat magazine. And so I did my work experience at Health and Fitness, and I went to do my work experience at EMAP, and then Health and Fitness phoned and offered me a job. But the good thing about it is it was almost it could almost be classified as a women's monthly glossy magazine. So when I talked about it, would certainly tell people that it was a women's monthly glossy magazine. And what's brilliant about working on one of these niche titles is there were only 4 people who worked on the whole magazine. So even though I was technically editor and assistant, because I was able to write quite fast, they let me write features, and I was then promoted to feature writer, and I was then promoted to fitness editor. I then left Health and Fitness and joined a magazine called Shine magazine, which was a bit like Cosmopolitan magazine or Zest magazine. And I was there for 2 years, first as health editor and then as features editor. But unfortunately, when I was 25 years old, Shine magazine shut down because nobody was buying it, and I was made redundant along with everybody else. So I was unemployed, not sure what to do. I was forced into freelancing and managed to pick up some commissions from a few people and made just enough money to cover the rent. And I then got shifts at the Daily Mail, purely by chance, because one of the editors at the Daily Mail had liked Shine magazine. She was one of the few people who had bought it. And she offered me shifts on the paper. And that was it really. I went into the Daily Mail to do shifts, and I never left. Eventually, well, I did, but eventually I did leave for the next 3.5 years. I moved into a section of the Daily Mail called Female, which is, I didn't realise this at the time, I didn't realise anything at the time actually, but the Daily Mail is a very popular newspaper that sets the agenda, has a massive circulation, and the female section is considered, almost the creme de la creme of where people on newspapers work if you're going to work on a tabloid paper, not a board. I was a feature writer on Female. And it was really here that I suddenly found myself specialising in what's known as real-life stories. Basically, on the Daily Mail, all my time was spent travelling up and down Britain, going to places that range from visiting people in their manor houses to visiting people in the most shocking council flats I've ever seen, interviewing them about their lives. And these are all people who, for whatever reason, have come into the news. The Daily Mail had ended up buying their story. It had been offered to them by an agency, usually like the one I run now, or they'd phoned up the paper saying, I want to, I'm a key player in this story. So I met all these people who were involved in the news.